Have you ever seen one of those personality quizzes that spits out a four-letter code like INTJ or ESFP? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the whole system behind it, the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator or MBTI. Let's break down what it is, how it works, and what it can actually tell us about ourselves. But first, let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why a big party leaves you feeling totally buzzed and alive, but your best friend needs like 3 days of quiet time to recover? Or why you live for a good, solid plan, while your coworker seems to do their best work in a last-minute panic? You know, the big idea behind Myers-Briggs is actually pretty simple. It's all about what feels natural. Think about your writing hand. For most of us, it's effortless. It just flows. Now, try switching to your other hand. You can do it, sure, but man, it feels clumsy, awkward, and it takes so much more concentration, right? Well, that's exactly how personality preferences work. So the whole MBTI framework is built on 4 key areas, or dimensions, and each one is a simple choice between 2 opposite preferences. Let's dive into them one by one. First up, where do you charge your batteries? Is it from the world buzzing around you, or is it from your own quiet internal world? This brings us to extraversion versus introversion. And let's be clear, this is not about being outgoing versus being shy. It's all about energy. Extroverts, with an E, get recharged by being with people and getting into the action. They often think out loud. Introverts, with an I, get recharged by spending time alone with their thoughts and ideas. They really need to think things through before they speak. So which one sounds more like your default setting? Okay, so that's our energy source. The next dimension is all about how we actually see the world around us. How do we take in information? Are you a sensing type or an intuitive type? Folks with a sensing preference, that's S, they trust what's real, what they can see and touch. They focus on the facts, the details, and what's happened before. On the flip side, intuitives, or N types, they're all about the big picture, the patterns, the possibilities. They love to ask what if, and they really trust their gut feelings.
So you've gotten your energy, you've taken in the information, what now? Well, how do you make a decision based on all that? That's our third dimension.
And this one is the difference between thinking and feeling. Thinkers, or T, they like to step back from a situation to make a decision. They rely on logic, pros and cons, and objective principles. It's all about what's fair and true. Feelers, or F, tend to step into a situation. They make decisions based on their values and how it's going to impact the people involved. Harmony and empathy are huge for them.
Okay, let's make this real. Picture this scenario. A thinking preference might immediately go to the company policy. Theft is theft, and to be fair, we have to apply the rule equally to everyone. A feeling preference, though, might focus on Tina's personal situation. She's a single parent, this is her first mistake. How can we find a solution that's compassionate? See? Neither is right or wrong, just a totally different starting point.
And that brings us to the last piece of the puzzle. This one is all about your lifestyle, really. How do you like to deal with the outside world? Okay, so do you lean toward judging or perceiving? Now, be careful with these words. Judging here has nothing to do with being judgmental. It just means you like your life to be planned and organized. You love the satisfaction of crossing things off a to-do list. Perceiving, on the other hand, means you prefer to be flexible and spontaneous. You love keeping your options open, and you might even get a little buzz from a looming deadline. So there you have it. Those are the 4 building blocks. And your preference in each of these pairs comes together to make up your unique 4-letter personality type. Let's think of it like a recipe. You take one ingredient from each of those 4 pairs we just walked through, you put them together, and you get your specific 4-letter code, which is one of 16 possible combinations. And here they are, all 16 types in one place. Each one of these, from the steady ISTJ to the big ideas ENFP, represents a completely different and totally valid way of experiencing the world. I mean, just take 2 that are wildly different. An ISTJ is that person you can count on to manage a super complex project, down to the last detail. But the ENFP, they might be the one who came up with the crazy, brilliant idea for the project in the first place. Both are incredibly valuable, just in very different ways. So this is way more than just a fun label. Once you understand your type and the types of the people around you, it becomes this amazing tool for, well, just getting along better. Let's go back to that thinking versus feeling preference for a second. If you know you're talking to a T type, just get straight to the point. Be logical, give them the pros and cons. They appreciate it. But if you're talking to an F type, you might want to start by building a connection first.
talk about how the decision affects everyone. You see the difference? Knowing this can seriously transform your conversations.
And get this is fascinating. Some studies suggest that in the US, about 3/4 of the population prefers extraversion and sensing. So if you're an introvert or an intuitive type and you sometimes feel like you're swimming upstream, well, you kind of are. So many of our schools and workplaces are just naturally set up to favor those majority preferences.
Okay, as we start to wrap this up, it is absolutely crucial that we're clear on what the MBTI is, and maybe even more important, what it is not.
This is not a test. You can't pass, you can't fail, there are no right answers. All this does is point to your preferred style, that dominant hand we talked about. Every single one of the 16 types is awesome and comes with its own set of unique strengths. This is all about understanding, not about judgment.
So why does any of this matter? Well, understanding your type can help you figure out a career that actually energizes you, not drains you. It can help you understand what stresses you out, communicate better with your partner or your boss, and just appreciate why other people are so different from you. It's a roadmap. So I'll leave you with this question. Based on what we've just gone over, what's one little insight you've picked up about yourself, or maybe someone you know, that you could actually use starting today?